Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I have a nice rack. I have several 8s with this rack, impranes and impinges, for example. What I can't see is a 7. There could be one here, but it hasn't come to mind. I've got the ing ending, I've got the im and in beginning. GM and P not great together. I guess G works okay with I and N, and M and P work together. Great, I do have some floaters to consider. So how about the D? Not seeing anything there. How about the A? Gosh, that's probably the best hope that I've got, and I'm not seeing anything. I don't think Pygmalion takes an S. But does it have an anagram? Well, not that I'm seeing. The M doesn't look good. How about the P? Well, likewise, that's another duplicate. And then the Y, I do have sin and sim, but not seeing anything. Okay, so I need to sort this rack out. How can I do that? And I'm looking to my scoring tiles, and I'm also looking at this double letter square above and below the A. So I could play MIG, keeping pens, which is not a bad rack leave. MIG doesn't give very much away. Die takes nothing in front, which restricts the opportunities to put tiles in front of AG, although I note that J and Z both go in that spot. M can go before or after M. Now I'm just wondering about playing Gimpy. So 19 for MIG. A lot more for Gimpy and a better rack leave. And I think I have Pygmy in the same spot, but I think Gimpy is better because the P scores more and therefore is offering more to my opponent where it's higher up. So Gimpy for 26. Through an R I would have Anserine. Again, I can't see any 7s with this rack. And again, I have a few floaters to consider. Just looking at the G because I have ing as an ending, but I'm not seeing anything. How about the D? Well, I have adenines, so I do have a bingo through that D. Could easily be blocked with this, with the attraction of this double letter square next to the vowel. Can't see anything with the A. How about the M? Looks promising, but not seeing anything. And the P. Again, there could be something there. Now, look at this. Opponent has blocked adenines. Fact takes an A and an S after it. And do I have something with this rack plus a T? Very high, or fairly high probability if there is such a play. Well, it's not come to mind. And I feel like there could be something here. How about the C? That is also available. Not seeing anything. So I've got the anti-prefix. Well, I'm going to have to abandon that search, which is a shame. So how to sort the rack out? I guess just play off E and N. Well, where's best for that, and possibly one more vowel, but A-E-I-N-S is quite a nice rack lead. I guess I could burn the A or the I with N. So I could play nice. Only 14 points. I really hope I'm not missing something through that T. Well, I've got to give up on that. This rack lead A-E-N-S, pretty good, and the I of Gimpy goes well with it. Plus if I draw an I, I've got I-N-G, and I've got the A for going after fact, and I'm obstructing my opponent from playing down column 8. So I'm going with this. Well, more 1-point tiles, which means it's going to be difficult to score, unless I can bingo. I have, well, it doesn't fit, but I have leguans through the G, but what does work is allnages, it's anagram. So I do have a bingo through that G. It could go, because this is quite a hot spot, playing parallel to Gimpy. And Nice has crushed the bottom of the board, apart from hooks to fact. And I'm not seeing a 7-letter bingo with this rack. P still available as a floater for words beginning PR. So what if allnages is blocked? Very difficult to score. Not too many scoring tiles on the board to extract value from. Wow, nice bingo by my opponent. I do have a bingo. I have leguans through the G, but it doesn't get doubled. However, I'm grateful to have a bingo. Keeps me close to my opponent. Leguans 63. Great, I draw the second and final blank. The rest of the rack fairly ropey. I do have one scoring tile in the Y, but it's going to be a struggle to reduce these vowels. Certainly the Y can go next to this A, but I think the best I can do there is EYE. EYE. I could do with a floating C to play cooey, or a P for pioi, but Nice blocks my doing that. I don't have anything in column 8 onto this O. I could play OY there, but keeping 4 vowels, pretty annoying when you've got a blank. Really looking to sort this rack out as soon as possible. I do have OYE in column 13, but that doesn't score much, and it sets up a good scoring spot for my opponent, so I'm looking to do better than that. MEE is good. The best I can see there is TEE. I don't have to burn the Y. So if opponent stuck a Z out in the open, I could play ooze. What about the top of column 15? Not seeing anything. I've got Yode in column 7. Only 12 points and keeping 3 vowels. Great. Opponent has only got 1-point tiles as well. So, should I be changing? I'm inclined to. I'm just not seeing anything which scores enough to justify going on. Having said that, Noi for 27, yeah, I think that's okay. I could draw 2 consonants and be heading off to Value Town. So Noi, and I can't extend that, Noi for 27. Well, I don't draw 2 consonants, but I do have a scoring tile in the F. So for example, I could play oof underneath Dovering. And that's a slight improvement on the previous turn's Rackley, because it will be 3 vowels rather than 4. A ton of vowels still to come. My F can go next to the E of Leguans, but I can't get that tripled. So I think it's just, well, I say oof, but I've also got foo in that spot for 19 points. Well, that's definitely better than changing. Opponent taking a while with this move, already down to just 13 minutes, taking more time than me, and still 50 tiles in the bag. So what if foo is blocked? No obvious candidate plays. I don't want to play oof at the top right, it takes too many front hooks. Wow. Opponent takes my oof spot. Burns an S, scores 39 points. I now have another spot for oof for 27, and I think I'll do that. Although I am taking out bingo lanes and I'm behind, I think there are sufficient other bingo lanes on the board. So oof for 27. More vowels, so we could be in for a vowel drought towards the end, but there still seem to be a lot of vowels in the bag, so maybe not. And now I have an opportunity of reducing the Rackley to just 2 vowels, because I can play Huia, and that plays at the top right, making Li and Ea. It also plays making Factor, but doesn't get doubled. And I'd quite like to leave row K alone. Column 15 has stayed available for quite a while, which is a surprise because it's a pretty hot spot with this vowel next to a double letter square. Still 2 S's to come. Wow. Opponent takes that spot. So where do I play? Well, Huia does have its attractions. It scores 17 points. It opens up a bingo lane in row L. And it leaves alone the bingo lane in row M. I'm going with this. 3 E's, but it is a more balanced rack in terms of vowels and consonants. And I have 2 scoring tiles. There could be a bingo here. I'm not seeing one. Through, well, I was going to say Hebitate. Yeah, I would have Hebitate through an A or a T. T of Noint not in the right spot. However, opponent may be attracted to this triple word square. I'm just 28 points behind, but opponent is on turn. So, what candidate plays do I have? Now my H can go underneath M-E, so I could play the T-H-E-E, leaving bet and blank. Still a ton of E's to come. So I don't have a problem keeping just the 1. Great, just 15 points for my opponent. He burns another S, which is slightly disappointing. That means he has definitely got this final S, because he's only getting 4 points for playing it. Does a floating R help me? Well, it looks like it goes quite well with this rack. So I've got words ending tree, but with HEB, can't see one. I've got 12 minutes on my clock. I think I'll quickly run through the alphabet, having in mind an R, but look, row D also available for bingos ending ED. So I'm going to try and keep D and R in mind. Not seen anything so far. So D and R. Wow. It doesn't quite fit, but I have herbalette. Yeah, that's out by 2. That looks promising. Well, not seeing anything. Bed sheet through a D, but that's not in the right spot. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything else. So I think I'll go back to my original plan and play V for 31. I don't think there's anywhere for Hebe. Well, there is underneath HE. I could play HEBE, creating a new bingo lane. 24 points, only 7 fewer points. And it's keeping a better rack lead. The B is a bit of a bingo killer, and there's another B to come. And I am expecting my opponent to bingo, so I may really have cause to need another bingo lane, and Anoint Hook is only available for an S, whereas a lot more plays can play in row N. So is there anywhere else for Hebe? I don't think so. I'm going with this. Not great, especially if my opponent bingos now. I've got the IZE ending, but not seeing anything. I think Zeolithic may be good, but I would need an O or an I for that. Cartel Eyes is good, but that's a 9-letter play. I think Zealotrice is its anagram. Well, I've got Biz and Bez down from this B. That would be a nice way of sorting the rack out. BIZ. 42 points, keeping Celt and Blank. SO looks promising. Not seeing anything. Opponent hasn't slapped down a bingo, and the remaining tiles don't look massively bingo-y. I'm guessing he's got the S, but look at this. 2 U's, V, W, W, X, J, Q, and J. So if opponent does bingo, the bag is suddenly going to become very non-bingo-y, but I will be bingoing before the end of the game, I think, because I have the blank. Great, no bingo for my opponent. I don't have a tile for going under the J, so I don't think he's provided a good spot. 2 I's left and 3 E's, but I still think the E is a better tile to retain. Well, 9 minutes on my clock before I whack this down. Is there really nothing through this R? I don't think so. Okay, I'm going with this. Can't see anywhere any other good spots. What about row D, ending ED? Nope. Criticize is good. That would need the right two-letter set. Biz for 42. Wow, here comes the vowel drought. Let me look at the remaining vowels. 13 out of 29. Okay, so it's not massively vowel dry. I was just wondering about crattled. I don't think that's good. I think it's scrattled. Not good. The Z doesn't go well with this rack. I don't think there are going to be plays beginning with I. Now I have clatter and trees, so I do have a bingo, and it's quite a good one because the C would get doubled, which is good for score, and it would deny bingo lane, so that's pretty crucial. I almost overlooked front hooks for rees. I'm pretty sure it hasn't cost me a bingo on previous goes. What a beautiful sight, just 3 points for my opponent. 20 tiles in the bag, and I'm about to bingo. Clatter for 77. Bang. And here comes the horror show. But I'm now in a position of having a 60-point lead on a pretty non-bingo-y board. I guess row D. Bingo's ending ED. But I'm fixing my opponent with the S, and this is not an S-friendly board anymore. And look at this, I have the A for going underneath the J. So I could play whacked in that spot. And this may be the sort of time when one just keeps the score ticking over to get over the line, even if opponent bingos. Now, opponent does play there, only gets 25 points, 9 tiles in the bag. I have 12 here, 31 points, keeping a good bit of space between my opponent and me. However, what about row O? Should I be playing down here? I think I can do so safely, because I don't think there's going to be a bingo ending in W. Warb is 36 points. I think this is a slightly better rack leave. Is there a better play in that spot? And can I get rid of the V and retain the W for mu? Well, I'm not seeing a V play. What about a B play in that spot? No. I think this is a hot spot for my opponent, so I do need to take it out. Warb for 36. Great, I have some vowels, and I dodged the Q, which may be on opponent's rack, and I have an 80 or 90 point lead. And the board is really shrinking in terms of what it's offering. I think row D, the best bingo lane, but any such bingo is going to offer a lot of scoring opportunities for me. The Z could be bingoed through, but it doesn't look very likely. And I think my opponent does need a bingo to catch me. Although I may struggle to score 20 or 30 points, which is what I aim to do when I'm in this position. 6 tiles in the bag. Good score for my opponent. And now there are 2 tiles in the bag. I don't want to draw the Q, although, well, I have the U and the I, so maybe it would be helpful to draw it. So is there anywhere for my V to go just by itself? Solve. I think I'll do this. So hard to get endgames right. Sometimes it's generally best to leave one in the bag, but that's not a universal rule. And by playing my V off for hardly anything, I'm not able to use it as a scoring tile. For example, it could go underneath the E for a play of Lev. However, the V and the Q go particularly badly together, so if I draw the Q, then I don't want to have it with the V, and I think the chances of the Q being in the bag are a lot higher than 1 in 9, because if opponent had it on his rack, he would have made efforts to play it. So I'm going with solve. And, well, I was going to say I can now see my opponent's rack, but I can't. There's still one tile in the bag. And I drew an E, which is quite nice. Yeah, so looking at the scores, I am 30 points ahead, which isn't a huge lead, but opponent has the Q. So what to do here? I have no scoring tiles. I have 5 minutes on my clock. I think the first thing to do is to see if my opponent can play the Q, and in particular, if he can only play it in one place. Can I block that? He's got QI and DEI on the bottom row, which is a nice place for me to spot, to block rather, because I can use the Z for score. So, for example, I can play Ulzi for 14, keeping AAT, and then I can play Actor next go. And does opponent have an alternative spot for QI, or just for playing the Q? He doesn't have an A for cat. Okay, no, so I think I will go with this. Do I have an alternative out to actor? MEA not good. Okay, opponent has resigned, and I think that's fair enough. It is very close to the end of the game, so it's not the end of the world. And the final score, 322 to my opponent, 373 to me, a winning margin of 51 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first. He plays Dampy. No missed bingo here, but there was a missed double-double with Pigpens, which would have been the play. And Gimpy for 26 looks a pretty good second choice, but ENS is not 22 points better than M. At best, it's about 14 or 15 points better, so Pigpen's definitely the play. Horrible rack for my opponent. Plays Fact. Great, there was no bingo here. I thought there may be through the T. So I play Nice for 14. Ace C13. Well, I don't like wrecking the rack that much for just 12 more points, because my rack leave after Nice was AENS, and AENS is significantly better than NS. Just wondering if it's 12 points better. Probably not, maybe 6 or 7. Possibly more. Now, this was a great spot by my opponent. Dovering. And then I have Leguans, and that was the only bingo. Opponent plays Noint. And I think a tree is being cut down outside. My rat may need B13. Well, that uses the blank, so I'm not a great fan of that. I play Noi for 27. And those moves are probably pretty close because EEIO is not a great thing to have with the blank. So is blank EEIO 22 points better than 00? Probably not, I would say. I'd say that rat lead may be worth about 20 points. Anyway, I play Noi. Opponent plays Skidoo, which was a nice spot. And now I have Oof for 27, which looks fine. And this is where opponent plays Re, keeping Rise. So no, he doesn't. He plays REI, but he kept a good rat leave. I play Huia, which isn't on this list here, so J8. Ethi and May, keeping AIU blank. Yeah, probably better than my play. Huia is 18 fewer points. And I know I just wanted to get rid of the U, given that I had the blank, but probably not worth sacrificing that many points to achieve. So this is the rack where my opponent plays Rees. He did have the extra S. Well, let's just see his options. No bingo. Plays Rees. Great no miss bingo here. And I thought about the, and then went with Hebe, which I like. And it's not just about scoring rack leave. Hebe opened a new bingo lane. Opponent plays Jeet. And I have Biz for 42. Wow, nice rack for opponent. Has a bingo, but it's a tricky one to spot. Orich's G4 through the R. That is a hard one to spot. He plays Hour. And this is where the game changes. We're neck and neck, but I'm about to stick a bingo down, and basically there's only one bingo lane left after this, and it's not a particularly useful one. So I play Clatter. Opponent has a great rack, and would have had a bingo but for Clatter. He would have had Dart Trez. He plays Dart. And now I play Warb for 36. Vor, N10. Oh, well, that's quite interesting. Or quite nice. Except I know my opponent's got the S and Jaw takes an S, so I prefer my play. Horrible rack for opponent. And just think how close he was to a bingo last turn with unplayable Dartras. And now he's facing this. So he plays Ergs. What do I do? I can't remember. I play Solve to leave one in the bag. Well, that's far too complicated to analyse. Opponent plays Wox. And now I play Ulzi to block what I thought and still do think is my opponent's only outplay for the Q. So I think that's the right thing to do. Yeah, and there's nothing available which plays the Q, which is confirmation of that. And finally, oh, well, this is the point at which opponent resigned, but I would have had Actor. And at the point he resigned, I didn't have an alternative out identified. And that was the end of the game. So, a cracking game. We were jolly close all the way through, and it really turned on the play of Clatter. Both my opponent and I had playable bingos on our racks, but it was me to go fast, and I got Clatter down, and that shut the door effectively on my opponent's chances of winning. So, another great game. This has been quite a sequence of wins, and my rating has climbed and is now approaching the 1800 mark. again, but it's always a bit of a roller coaster with Scrabble, and you can get quite a long run of results either for you or against you, and the important thing to do is to enjoy it when it's going for you. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.